able to give me and my family so much.
The dream is becoming a reality.
Phil Mickelson brutally calls out 7 golfers who disrespected him right now in June 2026. Phil Mickelson is at the center of something that has nothing to do with golf. Reports say his membership at the Farms Golf Club in Rancho Santa Fe has been terminated. The club says it conducted an independent investigation into allegations of non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact with a female employee. Phil's legal team has disputed those allegations completely. His lawyer, Tom Clare, says the club's account is squarely contradicted by objective video evidence, but the club says no cameras were active in that area. No footage was ever produced, and Phil is no longer a member. This is the place he used as his training sanctuary for decades, a place he called home, and now he is gone from it. This is the story of how one of the most loved golfers in history got here. And if this is already pulling you in, hit hype on this video right now. Help push it to every golf fan who remembers when Phil was still beloved. Not long ago, Phil Mickelson was the guy everyone rooted for. He played with risk. He played with heart. He connected with crowds in a way that very few athletes ever do. He was generous, he was fun, he felt real. Golf fans called him one of their own. He was the man of the people in a sport that could sometimes feel cold and distant. That warmth was his greatest weapon. It made people forgive mistakes they would not have forgiven in anyone else. That image is gone now. Phil did not just lose fans along the way, he lost trust. And once that trust was gone, the people around him started to pull away one by one. What is left in 2026 is a version of Phil Mickelson that would be unrecognizable to the fans who cheered for him for so many years. The story that keeps circling online is the one about Phil calling out 7 golfers who disrespected him. But that story is more complicated than it sounds. It is actually 2 separate things that got fused together by social media algorithms looking for clicks. The first piece is Phil's complaint about course etiquette. In May 2025, he replied to a post by golf analyst Lou Stagner. The post showed an image of an unraked footprint in a bunker. Phil fired back and said that failing to rake bunkers and repair pitch marks had become so disrespectful to everyone playing behind you. He called it a huge problem, even at the nicest clubs in the world. He was not wrong about the etiquette issue. Since the pandemic brought millions of new players to the sport, the basic codes of course care have slipped. Phil was defending something real. But here's the problem. He was defending the small traditions of golf while he had already helped blow up the biggest tradition in professional golf by joining a LIV. He left a 30-year PGA Tour membership behind. He helped recruit players away from the tour. He did all of that while telling everyone else to respect the game. That contradiction made a lot of people angry. You cannot demand that others honor old rules while you're busy burning the whole institution down. The second piece of the 7 golfers story goes back to February 2022. That is when Phil's world first started falling apart in public. He had spoken to writer Alan Shipnuck and described LIV Golf's Saudi backers in deeply troubling terms. He also admitted he was willing to overlook serious concerns about that backing in order to use LIV as leverage against the PGA Tour. Those words caused a massive backlash. Phil was forced to take a leave of absence. Then he issued a long public apology. What happened next showed exactly how much damage had already been done. 7 prominent PGA Tour players responded to that apology publicly. Their names were Billy Horschel, Brooks Koepka, Daniel Berger, Lucas Glover, Kevin Streelman, Charles Howell III, and Shane Lowry. Billy Horschel rejected Phil's tactics directly. He said the leverage approach was damaging to the integrity of the game. Brooks Koepka was sharp about it. He said Phil's comments and his apology both came across as self-serving. Daniel Berger expressed disappointment that Phil would undermine the tour for his own gain. Lucas Glover aligned himself with the legacy of the PGA Tour and said Phil's actions disrespected the history of the sport. Kevin Streelman said Phil had shattered the trust of players who had long seen him as a leader. Charles Howell III stayed quieter, though he would eventually join LIV himself. Shane Lowry spoke for many when he said the division Phil caused was deeply damaging to the global golf community. These were not random critics. These were Phil's peers. These were players who had shared locker rooms with him for years. And when they spoke, it showed that the support Phil might have expected from inside the tour was gone. The locker room had moved on without him. Then there are the bigger feuds, the ones that cut deeper. Fred Couples and Phil had a friendship that stretched across decades. That friendship is over. Couples publicly called Phil's press conference performances stupid. He said their relationship was done. His exact framing was that they are now in different orbits and will likely never speak again. A decades-long bond, finished. Rory McIlroy became an institutional enemy. This was never really personal between two people. It was about what each man believed professional golf should be. Phil mocked the PGA Tour for what he called double standards. Rory demanded transparency and accountability. They became the two faces of a sport at war with itself. That conflict has not resolved. Tiger Woods represented something even more symbolic. Tiger and Phil had been rivals for most of their careers. That rivalry had energy and history and meaning. What replaced it was silence. Tiger publicly said that LIV players had turned their backs on the platform that built their careers, that was directed at Phil as much as anyone. The old rivalry became a cold ideological split with no warmth left in it. Pat Perez brought the damage closer to home. Perez went public and said he had warned people about Phil for years. He talked about Phil's self-absorbed tendencies. He said nobody listened. Hearing that kind of thing from someone who had been inside the tour with Phil for a long time hurt his credibility in a way that outside criticism never could. LIV Golf sits at the center of all of this. Phil did not just join the tour, he recruited for it, he defended it. He made himself the public face of a movement that divided professional golf in a way no one had seen before. He believed he was forcing real change. Many of the people around him believed he was simply using the sport for his own leverage. That gap in perception destroyed relationships that had taken careers to build. Phil gambled that history would prove him right. So far, it has not. The people who built the sport alongside him have already moved on. Now return to the farms. That place was more than a golf club to Phil. It was a sanctuary, a place to practice, a place that felt like home in San Diego where he grew up. Being removed from it mid-round, being told to leave the course before finishing his game, is not a small thing. Private clubs protect their most famous members as a rule. The fact that the farms did not protect Phil says something stark about where his standing is right now. The celebrity shield that once insulated him from consequences appears to be completely gone. His career in 2026 has matched the rest of the picture. He withdrew from LIV Golf Riyadh in February. He withdrew from LIV Golf Adelaide. He withdrew from Hong Kong. He withdrew from Singapore. His only competitive start of the year was LIV Golf South Africa at Stein City, where he finished tied for 48th at 7 under par. He withdrew from LIV Golf Mexico City after that. He did not play the 2026 Masters, missing it for only the second time since 1995. He did not play the PGA Championship, despite holding lifetime past champion status. And at the US Open at Shinnecock Hills in June, he was ineligible. He had run out of exemptions. The US Open is the one major he has never won. He has finished second there 6 times. That pursuit now looks finished. The talent was never in question. Phil Mickelson at his best was one of the most exciting players the sport has ever seen. That part of his story is real, and it does not disappear. He earned his place in golf history through decades of genuine skill, very hard work, effort, and moments fans will never forget. But a legacy is not just what you build, it is also what you do with it. And Phil, through his own choices, through the LIV defection, through the public conflicts, through the locker room fallout, through the controversy at the farms, has added damage to his story that he put there himself. The greatness is still in the record books. The cost of everything that came after it is there too. Both things are true at the same time. And right now, in 2026, the cost is the part that everyone is talking about.